So since the start of Stop the Bleeding, I've wanted to make sure that we are touching upon topics that were interesting to the community, that people wanted to hear about, and something that comes up pretty often is the very sensitive history of the bleeding disorders community in America. And it's a pretty touchy history. There's been some really dark periods to it. And we really wanted to make sure that we touched upon it in a very respectful way. So the thought was, if the level of sensitivity around the material is here, then our production value needs to be here as well. So we decided to put Spencer in a time machine, but a time machine that doesn't take you where you want to go, takes you where you need to be.
When Patrick and I decided we wanted to focus on the history of hemophilia this season, we said, what's the biggest, most fun way to do this? And we've given ourselves permission to play with reality. I mean, we had junk food turn a guy into a zombie in a previous season. When you have that freedom, the most fun way to deal with studying history is, of course, a time machine. We hired Ben Saltzman, who designed the original Bleedertron costume in season 1, and we told him, look, it's really simple. This has to look like something you'd find in a garage. It has to feel homemade, but it also has to look like there's a little bit of science behind it. So you kind of want to jump in, but know that you probably shouldn't.
Wait, why not?
Because it's dangerous, that's why.
Dangerous how?
You can't control where it goes.
Spencer is really struggling with his identity as someone with hemophilia, and it's time for him to kind of get schooled a little bit. But the way in which we did it was we brought him back in time. He meets characters from the 50s, 60s, and 70s in this really bizarre lab. We used some really great light setups and camera tricks and costume changes and some pretty elaborate production elements to make a fun, vibrant experience for the audience and going back in time. And then it's not until we get to that real dark period where we kind of pull the rug out for a minute and let everyone sit in what was an extremely hard period of time.
The 1980s was a devastating time for the hemophilia community. The transmission of HIV and hepatitis through blood and blood products affected and killed over half of people with hemophilia in America.
Wow.
This community has suffered tremendous adversity, but sometimes you have to go back to move forward. The blood contamination crisis bonded the bleeding disorders community and made all of the advancements since possible. Now it's up to you and the generations after you to get us to where I'm taking us next.
Okay. I should probably factor up first.
Where we're going, you won't need to factor.
We spent a lot of time talking about it. I'm extremely proud of it, and I'm excited to hear how the community responds to it.